You don't trust a name you could trust when it comes to all things reactions. And I'm gonna repeat myself again because I don't know why. For some reason, this always cuts me off in a let me just repeat myself regardless. Yeah. By the way, my name is Versatile, aka the I could be don't trust a name you could trust when it comes. Hold on. When it comes to, I'm repeating myself again. By the way, my name is Versatile, aka the Attribute and Trust, the name you can trust when it comes to all things reactions. You see the title of this live stream. If you're watching in a replay, it is what it is. All right. So listen, we're gonna get into episode 3, yeah, which is called Official Girl, from the docu-series of Sean Combs, The Reckoning. All right. Obviously, Sean Combs is incarcerated right now, as we speak. And you never know. Is he coming home after? Is he gonna I say coming home? Is he gonna be, you know what I mean? Literally coming out. Will he be released from jail at this point? We saw episode 3. Do you understand? But we will get on to other people's reactions another day. And do you know what I mean? Because there's certain people I want to hear from. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So if you turn on your post notifications, trust me, there's more content coming, especially when it comes to hip hop in general. But there's more content coming in regards to this. All right, so listen. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. No delays. Going to use my earbuds again. Do you know what I mean? Um, and unfortunately, because of copyright issues, you won't be able to watch it with me. But I will be narrating. Hold on. Yeah, I will be narrating. When I say narrating, I'll be repeating the things that are said or summarizing, and we just go from there. It is what it is. You're still gonna see my reaction. Yeah, you're still gonna get my perspective. All right. So let's just switch this on. Get this on. Boom. And but if I'm a little congested or anything like that, listen. I'm supposed to be resting. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sure, I should be resting. But like, you know what I'm saying? At least I've got my warm bottle of water, so we're good. You know what I mean? So if I can stand this out, yeah. So anyway, by the time this is, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, you don't care much all that. This is just do it. No delay. All right. So, well, the beginning obviously starts with repeating the same things, which is basically. So in 2025, Sean Combs was tried in federal court on charges including RICO, bank trafficking, and violations of the Mann Act. He was convicted, yeah, on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution under the Mann Act and acquitted of the remaining charges. He was sentenced to 50 months in prison with time served. Listen, there's some words, unfortunately, and I'm able to say. In fact, you know what? Give me a second. Let me go back to this real quick. I'm going to come back to this. I was meant to do this. So obviously we're going to look at Internet Media Database here. First and foremost, yeah, so you can see what's going on. Obviously it's released on December 2nd, 2025. So after Biggie's loss, Diddy's career skyrockets alongside a string of violent incidents. Alarming allegations emerged about abusive relationships. Yeah. So there's a lot of people that's going to be involved in this. Just to let you know. So in fact, we'll just get straight into it. No, there's no need to get into the to everyone who's involved so far. We said because of the episode 4. So yeah, let's get back into this still. 200 million. So 6 days before his arrest, he's about to deposit $200 million. All right. So that just shows you again. You know when some people say, "Oh, why do people? Well, it should be a criminal case that people should file against Diddy." Blah blah blah. I hear you, but when someone has that amount of money, and he's able to have. I think he didn't have like 8 lawyers. He had a number of lawyers on deck for his federal trial. A number of lawyers. So when you think about it, he had to have the money to be able to. You see what I'm trying to say? So the point is, it's strategy, and I understand it. It's not like I'm not gonna say it's not. Law is a mad thing, yeah, because sometimes what you may deem as justice is justice, and sometimes something you may not see as justice is not justice. But the only real justice that generally does happen is between the individual and God, yeah. And I'll keep it as simple as that. Earthly justice is one thing in comparison to the justice that's the spiritual justice. That's what I'm gonna say. So don't play with God. You know what I'm saying? Well, when I say don't play with God, don't play with God in a negative way, thinking you can do everything. Yes, He sent His forgotten Son. You know what I mean? For forgive us for all. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, this ain't about religion, all that. Let's just get straight back into it. Let's go. Hmm. All right. Okay. Damn. Okay, so his friend more or less summarizing and say, not summarizing. I'm going to summarize what his friend or childhood friend Tim Dog was mentioning. He mentioned that he's seen Sean Combs with a lot of women, and he knew how to change the women's life overnight. And he basically he basically said that Misha was his first project. Really? Um, if you look at timeline, he was with Kim first, right? Before he was with Misha. Although Kim was already a model, you know what I mean? She was already doing her thing. You know what I mean? She was ready with Albie Shaw and that. So I don't know. Like, look, end of the day, I don't know what he means. Maybe he means like the way he molds people. I don't know. You understand? I don't know. He hasn't really explained that further. Like, how can you say first project as if she's not a human being? That alone to tell me, you know what they say? Show me your friends. I'll show who you are. You know what I mean? Like, think about it for a moment, yeah. Think about that saying for a moment. But he mentioned that he molded them in the likeness of his mother. Now, naturally, you can't mold someone in the likeness of their mother. Anyway, I always do that. That sounds a bit strange and weird to me, but oh, okay. So he was with Nisha first, then. All right, fair enough. It always seemed like it was with Kim first, but I don't know. All right, cool, whatever. So Kurt Burrows more or less mentioned to oh, I get it now. He saw Kim first, but obviously he's biding his time in it, which is mad. But we get the point. But in this part, he's mentioning how Kurt Burrows is mentioning how Lisa will come to him and say, "Where's the money for our baby? Like, where's the money supposed to be?" And then he's saying that this time this is Kim Paul. That's crazy work, man. That's crazy work. I mean, I can't speak for other people's relationships. That's not my saying in terms of, that's not me. I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is this, yeah, the reality of life is once you have a child, you know what I mean? The bare minimum as a man is to do everything possible to look after your child. Everything possible. I'm not saying he wasn't and he didn't, but in that scenario, he clearly wasn't. So anyway, let's go. Now, I'll be sure, yeah, more or less said in a joking way to Kim, make sure you marry him and have lots of kids. He said that out of jest, out of joke. And that can happen. This is why you need to be careful with the words you say. So be very vigilant with the words you say. And I get it. Sometimes you may be young and you're just saying things for the same thing. Just be careful with the words that you are saying. Like, be very, very careful. Like, very, very careful. There's no way they're playing the song. Whose song is this? There was a boy, a very strange enchanted boy. Wait. We gotta find this song. There was a boy. Hold on. A very strange. Nat King. Nat King Cole. And the song's called Nature Boy. Woo! If you know, you know. And wait, it doesn't. Anyway, I won't get into that. That's probably for another day, for another subject. I don't even want to get into these type of things because that's kind of scary and ridiculous. That how. Anyway, listen. Let's just stay focused. Stay focused. But that song, man, that like how you insert that song. Let's find out why. Kim Dog basically said, "All Kim is a good girl. She comes from a good home, and like all good girls, they like bad boys." Now here's the thing. Naturally speaking, yeah, you grew up with him. You knew. You said he was goofy. You said he was goofy. So when did he turn become a bad boy? What? Just because of his label being called bad boy? Because of Biggie. That I will repeat in the previous episode, in episode 2, when they were talking about the come up in regards to the in regards to going to Clive Davis and playing the song. One of the songs was "Give Me the Loot," right? Give me the loot, give me the loot, I'm a bad boy. Give me the loot, give me the loot, I'm a bad boy. Come on now, that how obvious is it? You know what I mean? Because I'm not saying that Diddy is or Sean Combs is not a creative individual because in some respects he is, yeah. But there's a level of creativity when you can come up with your own idea for names for things, yeah. And obviously, listen, in passing conversation, you never know. Like I would like to see there's an interview out there or something out there where Biggie, aka Christopher Wallace, is literally saying he is the one, or he's talking about how the name Bad Boy came about. You know what I mean? For Bad Boy Entertainment, because it very much reminds me of like with the entertainment industry, if you write scripts and it gets the airtime, it gets the airtime. The idea you have for a show, for example, if you don't put the proper procedures in place, you could be put at a loss. You get what I'm trying to say? And the only reason I'm bringing that up is because Flex Washington, is it Flex Washington or Flex Alexander? I can't even remember his name. All I know his name is Flex. That, if you know, you know. From one on one, right? In this interview with Art Dialogue, I will react to it before interviewing it. I will react to it. You will see what I'm trying to say. So make sure you're telling the post notifications for that. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you don't put the proper protocols in place and you don't know that information, you see what I'm trying to say? You'll be at a loss. But let's keep it moving. Right. So now Roger Bonds, a former security guard for Sean Combs, has admitted he's never seen Sean Combs hit Kim, as in Kim Porter, but he's been outside the room and he heard Kim being hit by Sean Combs. So now my question becomes, and this is what's so mad, yeah, because it's like you're saying this, you know this information. What did you do then? Don't tell me you was there, because obviously evidence is one thing for TV, but that's another thing. It's like there's many forms of evidence, but if you're hearing it, that's one thing. But can you know what I mean? But like, okay, you were hearing it. What did you tell Sean Combs that night? You understand? What did Roger Bonds? What did you tell Sean Combs that night? Obviously, your job is to be the security guard for Sean Combs. Obviously, protecting his life or whatever the case may be. But I'm sorry, like you can't just anyway. Let's see what else he's going to say. Cause I'm sure he's probably going to say he did what was necessary and in terms of going to X, Y, Z to help him stop. But like, I don't know. Let's keep moving. Then we'll come out there with a homeless up. Let's say to be red. What the God is what to get if that was wrong. Wow. Wait a minute. The song that was played that is playing, did he actually played it on his, I think was it is that Instagram? That looked like Instagram. The song Nature Boy, Nat King Cole. Trio, Nat King Cole. Hear me? Hey, hey. But there's something important that AubreyODay just said. I mean, we're gonna get into that. I'm gonna show you what she said. She said, once you're here, through process of grooming, it makes you right, nice and right for whatever you step done. Wow, he even was posting things called typical Nature Boy, and he's Nature Boy. I'm sorry, it's not in nature to be hitting. Anyway, let me not get into that. It's not in nature for anyway. Let's not get into that. Let's just straight moving. Let's move it. All right, so next part. First, we're gonna get to episode 4, and then I also have to listen. That's how it's done. Damn. Tim Dogg's friend basically just said, after Biggie's loss, excuse me, sorry, after Biggie's loss, Bad Boy Entertainment skyrocketed. And he said he thinks he remembers Sean Combs throwing him a check of $60 million. So once again, he became even more famous. Sean Combs became even more famous after the loss of Biggie. Or should I say not after, let's just say he became even more famous after a tragedy. So the first tragedy that we're aware of is the situation to do with the City College incident. Yeah, the second tragedy ended up, and two, it's magic because obviously he's the sponsor of the event, but I don't know. It's like it's how we'll get into that another day, another time. But anyway, forget all that for now. Yeah, well, I don't want to say forget all that because lives were lost. Sadly. So rest in peace to those and condolences to those families and may justice. May they be able to get justice in this lifetime, like earthly justice, like it needs to happen. I don't know if seeing Diddy in jail for now, holding down 50 months in jail is good enough for them. I don't know. It might not because remember, life or anything, just that lives are lost, and when life are lost, you can never get that life back. You understand? And it's mad when you do it. But as far as this Biggie situation, after it's like, come on, man. And it's mad, you're like, because even then, yeah, there were indications and rumors that Diddy had involvement with Tupac and Biggie. That was then. But we're gonna keep it moving. And yeah, here's the other thing, yeah. You know, some people be like, "Oh, Suge Knight had involvement in regards to the situation that happened with Tupac in '96." Blah, 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 blah. Like, but if you look at it, Suge Knight label in general and himself didn't propel the way that Sean Combs and Bad Boy Entertainment did. Like, I'm not even kidding you. If you look at the timeline, if you genuinely look at the timeline, you can see who really, really benefited. Just saying. And then you got to think about it from another perspective. Like, I don't know. Like, you got to remember, you're saying Biggie's your friend. If you let him, you let Biggie pay for his own. Come on, man. Evil. And it's mad because this ain't, who is it? DMX's funeral as well. I think Kanye West helped pay for the majority of that or something like that. Now, I'm not trying to hear the disrespect to the speech of anyone like that. That's not my call. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying, raw. If you know what I mean. If you look at certain situations, anyway, let's go. Okay, so think of is trying to say that whatever deal that Sean Combs got into, he became the face of it. I mean, business is business. I'm not going to take that away from it. Like sometimes, if if it feels like the business still will go well because you're the face of the brand, you know what I mean? Whether you've got 1% equity in the company or whatever the case is, that's another story. But as far as the business deal, like even like if he's the face of the brand and he knows how to market himself, that's fair game, isn't it? You get what I'm trying to say? That's fair game. I will never, like, business aside, you got to think about it. Business aside, you cannot take that away from him. You see what I'm going to say? But it's how business is done on the back end in terms of, okay, what else are you doing? You see what I'm going to say? For example, it's like, it would mean that not to say that everyone should be on the back burner. No, you do your job at the same time. The same thing with Master P and No Limit. With No Limit, guess what happened? They were in a situation where Master P was doing outside, he was doing side quests, basically. He was reliving his dream of being an NBA player. He was reliving that dream. He really wanted that dream. So he went on to do that. But behind closed doors, you know what I mean? No Limit was falling behind because why? They were relying on Master P. So that's the downfall of No Limit soldiers, No Limit Army. You know what I mean? That's the downfall of that record label. And again, yeah, he was the face of his brand. He's the face of his businesses. However, he's learned how that it's about other things. You know what I mean? The product, not just people. And he learned that. And obviously, he learned that the hard way. You know what I'm saying? He learned the hard way. But again, so we can't take that business acumen away from him like that. I'm not a Diddy defender. Don't ever get that twisted. I'm just saying from a business perspective, all right? But let's keep it moving. Let's continue. But obviously, if they're the face of the brand in the marketing, obviously, yeah, let's keep it moving. Let's go. Mark Curry, you know. Okay, working on good with the contract. We want to write a song for him. Because right now, to make a song if I didn't work. It doesn't sound good singing out the words good as you did. That's interesting. So, let me see something real quick. Excuse me. What was it? I couldn't figure out. God, you know, soundtrack. Hold on. I want to see something. Um, cause the song called "Come With Me." Pause. No Diddy. Uh, okay, yeah, Mark Curry is one of the songwriters. So that's not a lie. That's definitely not a lie because he literally is one of the songwriters. That's interesting. Didn't even know that. Obviously, yeah, anyway. This is I can't even laugh off you. The way that I'm feeling, I shouldn't be doing this business. So when it's time for me to laugh. Anyway, alright, so yeah, this is the movie. Let's go. He's basically reciting the version that Diddy was doing, or Sean Combs was doing in the studio. Like, they can't do it. That's how basically it's just one of the biggest things recorded. Let me know in the comments below. What do you actually? I don't really care. But you don't want to know that. In fact, no. Okay, so that's a better topic, but not Curry. They seem better. Trying to think. Mark Curry literally just said, you remember coming home and seeing Mark Curry with a AK-47, allegedly, with a bullet still stuck in it or jammed in it. This is in 98, by the way. Allegedly. Let's have the defense out. Fact, if you can't get the bullet out, then you should have handled the gun. December 99? Okay, so now they're talking about the incident that happened in 99 in December, where Nathaniel Hines, um, I don't know if I did my reaction video to an interview with Tiffany Coates. If I haven't, I will do it on this channel. So make sure you stay subscribed. You know what I mean? And you will be able to see it this time. You know what I mean? It's just copyright purposes with certain content. Um. So yeah, let's just keep it moving. Yeah, you know what's mad? You have to beat it. The fact that they not, I don't want to use the word strategically, the way the timeline of incidents are happening that are occurring. You know what I'm gonna say? I'm surprised Gene Gill hasn't been seen in this docu-series. You know what I mean? I'm very, very surprised. Very surprised. Especially knowing that 50 Cent and Gene Gill, you know what I mean? They know of each other. You know what I mean? I was expecting this, so I was expecting that to happen. But hey, it is what it is. Maybe there's another documentary that's meant to be happening. I don't know. Because 50 Cent did allude to it. He did kind of allude to it. So yeah, let's keep it moving. Let's go. I'm trying. So now, Derek Parker, former New York NYPD rap unit detective. Rap unit detective? You mean you a hip hop police? Hey, listen, crime is crime. What difference is crime and rap? They're two different things. Rap is a form of hip hop, is one of the elements of hip hop culture. So what do you mean NYPD rap unit detective? What do you mean by that? Derek Parker, former NYPD rap unit detective, you hip hop police? Oh, you Dolores Tucker's son, aren't ya? Now joking. Let me stop clowning. All right, look. No, for real though, like, raw. I'm surprised by that. I'm literally surprised by that. But we're gonna keep it moving regardless. But I do remember when this incident did occur in December '99. Everyone would assume, not everyone, most people assume that the narrative only one person was hit, which is Nathaniel Hines. It's always the woman that got hit. She's always stood by and said it was Puffy. She's always said it from day one. Always said it. I will react to her interview another time if I haven't already. And so, what I will say though is this: she wasn't the only one. She literally was not the only one. I need you to understand this. Let's go. I know it's nothing speaking. You're Madonna Ruben. See, both, both, both pulled their whack. You know what I mean? They both pulled their blam and fired at the same time. At the same time. Now, you could ask, how do you know it was Puffy that shot at? It was Puffy's situation that hit Natanya Regan. Well, we're gonna watch her reaction. No, we're gonna watch her interview another time for another day, and we're gonna see how she basically doesn't change her story. It's always been the same. One thing about lies will always have different forms and shapes. It shapes it. But let's keep it moving. I'm not gonna take up too much time. Illegal what possession instead of 50 years in prison if he's got as well. Okay, so that detective I just told you about, he's like I'm gonna read exactly what he just said, and this is where it gets a bit weird to me. It's very weird. Yeah, yeah. It says in this unit. Hold on. Let's read that a little bit more. In this unit, he says my job was to deal with the rap music industry as a whole. Right? Everybody called him Diddy because every time if they got in trouble, I was always the guy that had to be there. Now, my question is, if you knew this information, you must realize you got into a lot of trouble, right? You must have a lot of situation, a lot of information, facts, evidence on Diddy. Now, the question is, what did you do with that information? Because here's the thing about investigation. You can investigate something and you can see certain facts, you can see certain, and if you can see the facts with the evidence, the timeline, you can see whether that person is a, you can see what it is. You see what I'm going to say? You can see what the context of it is. But it's what you do with that that matters the most. Yeah? Especially if you're a detective. But rap unit, come on. So that let me know if either you decided, I'm not gonna try and get any of these rappers in trouble. I would keep I'll have them on my payroll, but I won't let them get in trouble the way that they want them to. Maybe a few, but anyway, I'm saying allegedly. I can have that freedom of expression of thought. Yeah, but let's keep it moving. I don't want to pause too much. I don't know who that was, but they literally said this. They literally said they meant. Oh, I didn't even meant what they just said. They said, when is it going to be fair for Puffy? Because he's paying for everything. Remember what I told you before in regards to the Tupac and Biggie situation, and how some people were alleging that Diddy had involvement with that. What else is he blamed for prior to that? Like, think about it logically, yeah? What else is he blamed for other than that? Obviously, yeah, you got the city college situation, but aside from that, what else is he blamed for? Because yes, he should be held accountable for the situation in the College City incident. He should 100%. Now, after that, what's next? Now, you could say 94 with Tupac, but again, that's between him and Tupac. We don't know the actual facts or evidence yet, but clearly the road just passed to today. And if Tupac said he believes Puffy was involved, I have no doubt in my mind that Puffy was involved. You understand? I have no doubt in my mind. But now it becomes okay, well, what about in 96? Was Puffy involved? I can't say for certain, but you never know. But if Caden in episode 2 alluded to it, then maybe, who knows? But Biggie, now that's a question of, wait a minute, there's things that are a coincidence that shouldn't be a coincidence, but if you look at, if you put all the pieces of puzzles together, you see, you get a bigger picture. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's go. Okay, so when you're saying, okay, I think I know this incident. So Mark Curry said, what people don't understand is before that charge, before that incident in '99, in regards to the Nathaniel Williams situation and another person that was involved, um, one other victim, uh, was he had the incident with Steve Stout, basically. After the video, could you create me now? That party on the cross, I walk on just in there. There's a picture in New York, feeling part that talking to the doctor, easy, taking seconds to talk about off and start, continue with you, but it's a different problem start with the and we've got to Mark Curry, I think that was in old, we're going to go, then got to settle it and just still got to go. Of course he won't be cooperative. I don't understand some detectives. How are you going to try and get cooperation from someone who's injured? Let them recover first. You know what I mean? Let them recover first, please, please. And then also you got to consider, hey, if they're getting beaten like that, they're most likely not going to be ratting. Most likely not going to be ratting. Yeah, I had an upset. Okay, Shine basically reading that pretty much for the full. When it gets worse, it's worse. Shine and over everything. No, no, no. Time out, Mark. You can't say he didn't do it. Like, this is what's mad, Dad. Shine is just as guilty. You get it. He is just as guilty as Sean Combs that, or his name then, or was it Puff Daddy at that time? You know what I mean? Like, he is just as guilty. So you need to understand that, you see, with the reality of the situation, if you're saying two blams were fired off, right? Clearly, and it came from the, more or less the same direction, and you're saying it was in self defense, you're just as guilty. Now, whether you're the one, whether the ammunition was the one that hit Natalia Rubin, that's another story for her to tell, which she has told. And like I said, I will react to that if I haven't reacted to that already. Now, and that'll be for another time, for another day. So turn on the post notifications so I can get notified when I do react to that content. So the next thing I'm going to end up mentioning is, okay, if that's the situation, right? Let's think about it from another angle. And what angle is that? Okay, there's another person that was injured. Now, that person that was injured, do you sound the same? What did they say? Because if it never, if it never hit someone, because you know what, growing up, yeah, and obviously the age that I'm at, I didn't know I didn't know the details of these situations. You hear about incidents, but you don't know the full scope of it. And even people older than me hear about a situation and don't know the full scope of it. But even when you do know, when you get to know the full scope of it, everything starts to make sense. And I'm starting to understand this is why Sam ended up in jail for 10 years. So it's not that he literally took the fall for Sean Combs. It's not even that. No, you were supposed to go to jail. Like, what we talking here? You were supposed to go to jail. Now, Sean Combs as well was supposed to go to jail. Unfortunately, he didn't. But now he's in jail. Anyway, let's keep it moving. But obviously for a different situation. But God works in mysterious ways, and I genuinely believe. Anyway, I won't get into that. But I'll just say this: yes, the reason why this documentary exists and the episode 2 that we watched, that we reacted to, if you're doing that at this time while he's in jail, and you can see all these stuff, I'm telling you, Diddy's done. He is done. Like done, done, done. Well, Mark Curry just said, what did he do to end up not going to jail? He doesn't know. But everyone who's been around Puff could end up either, most of the artists or anyone else end up in jail, but not Puff. Steve George said it before in another interview in Art of Dialogue platform, which I'm going to get to another time, but he mentioned something else. He mentioned something similar. People around Diddy either end up, you know what I mean, loss of life or in jail. Mark Harris said it to music and have a job. You mentioned most of those artists, and they got bangers galore, and they're trying to bring it to the concept. Okay, now they're going to make the band situation. The old way of making music is working, not work for them. Okay, AubreyODay now. Hey, wait, time out. Oh, time out. Over a day. Your mom literally said you're too talented to be a lawyer. No, 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 no. See, if it's an African household, or sometimes a Caribbean household, but mostly an African household, no, you're not being an entertainer. You're not being a singer. I don't care how talented you are. You are being either a doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant. Listen, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below. But raw, let's keep it moving now. Let's go. Okay. We've got to read the article because that article seems very interesting. Yeah, let me read it verbatim. All right, so it says Combs recruited for all female pop group. New York, Sean T. Diddy Combs is in a prowl for some ladies. Even that wording is mad. On the prowl for some ladies, but at least it's hyphen who can sing and dance. He announced dates for an open call audition for his new MTV series, Making the Band Free, a reality show about co-position an all-girl group. I want a group of women that can sing like Christina Aguilera and dance like Usher. I'm surprised that Usher has not been mentioned in this. Well, he was mentioned when Cassie D mentioned him briefly, like he was dancing on the hood of his car and like matching it up. So that to be repainted. But there's no mention of that. And so far there's no mention, well, maybe they'll mention Justin Bieber, I don't know. But anyway, Combs told the Associated Press by phone, I'm looking to create an international supergroup to follow the footsteps of the Supremes and Destiny's Child. Interesting. Okay, so before Danny came, there was the band. It's amazing because growing up watching MTV and realizing making the band, I remember a few episodes. I won't even lie to you, but I don't think I watched it like that, like that. You get it? I don't think I watched it like that. Because I feel like that time and that era, for me, I was more into the UK scene, because like more so. You know what I mean? Watching Channel U, that was my go-to channel, like Channel U. So anyway, let's go. Okay, a few years after that was Jason. Okay. He told one of the members from Day 26, obviously was living in the hood, and he's like, you know what, when you see someone like Diddy, you want to get out of the hood, you see him as your savior. They did it to make their dreams come true. That's one of them. Diddy was that powerful. But let's keep talking. What is life thing in a good way? Dialogue. Or is it that? See, I say Dylan. Is it Dylan or Dylan? But it's the way it's. I don't know. Pronounce how you want to pronounce it. Is it Dylan or Dylan? Because you know Disney Rascal name is Dylan. Dylan. You know what I'm saying? I say Dylan. So let's go. Talking back to the second. Okay, now Brooklyn Babs was told she was given a stack of papers to go for it, but she was only given 24 hours. What kind of madness is that? I'm sorry, that should be a red flag, a high alert that you should run. I know you want your dreams to come true, but that's you're gonna. I don't know. That should let you know. What do you mean 24 hours to go through every fine detail? And no, that's not going to take 24 hours. That could take a week or even 2 weeks. And then obviously you're going to need lawyers involved. And they have to go through that with a fine tooth comb, with a magnifying glass. Anyway, and sign it. And sign it in 24 hours. So she said, her lawyer actually chuckled and said, I'm going to break it down to you like this. You're paying and get paid and fortune. There you go. They're offering you fame, but not fame. Wait, what was it? Let me find out. I know my bed is rumbling still. Still time to make a month. I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna have to hold that still. I just moved forward. I don't even know what I did. Yeah, I did. 24 hours to go through it. Of course. I'm gonna break it down to like this. There's often fame and not fame with fortune. I mean, Dennis could offer the fame, but not fortune. Exactly that. Make sure you have read the fan page. You put it in. You ain't no way out. And Diddy laughed, and everyone else is laughing. And this is the thing about some people. Yeah, some people will say things that are salacious or say things that are evil and demonic. Yeah, and they will laugh about it as if it's a joke, but they're not joking, and you may laugh with them. Now you may see it as a joke, but they're not joking, as we see. And she's definitely a sad day. Really, in fact, leave your answer in the comment section below. If you were given, I don't know what your dreams are and what your goals or your aspirations are, right? Leave your answer. Let me know in the comments below. But whatever it is, yeah, whatever your dreams and your goals and aspirations are, if you were given 24 hours and in fact, you were given a stack of papers to sign, right, in relation to your dreams and your goals, and they gave you 24 hours to sign it, and they said, make sure you sign it. Because even if you make sure you read everything and make sure you sign it. Because once you're in, there's no way out. Would you still sign it? Leave your answer in the comments below. In fact, let's throw a curveball. Imagine you're in your late teens, early 20s. Would you still sign it? Let's keep it moving. Let's go. Okay. Okay, AubreyODay basically just alluded to what MTV gave Diddy that he couldn't get anywhere else. Well, not anywhere else, but it basically just gave him pop credibility. And when you think about it, it kind of did. It literally kind of did. Because you're looking at the hip hop world and he was successful there. Let's be real, he was successful. But the hip hop world versus the pop world is a completely different ballgame. And then you've got MTV, which is a massive, TV network as well. So when you are appealing to that demographic, because I think it was Keith from Day 26. He basically said, it was the number one show on MTV, and we're the only black show on MTV. It was number one, and the demographic was predominantly white. You get it? So when you put that into perspective, it's a whole other ballgame. I mean, AubreyODay also mentioned that it can make that person a millionaire, a billionaire, and it's crazy good. Yo, I didn't want to hear that. I'm not gonna even repeat what he just said, but Sean Combs, yeah, he let his intrusive thoughts, yeah. Okay, yeah. So basically, Roger Bond, his ex-security guard, bodyguard, basically said that Sean John basically well, Sean Combs basically was making 300 to 400 million dollar a year from the Sean John brand, and he said he's on the road to becoming a billionaire, and he doesn't care who gets in his way. He's getting what I call a God syndrome. That's not a God syndrome, by the way. He made us go walk in Brooklyn for a cheesecake. Brooklyn to Manhattan for a cheesecake. Now, when you look back at it, yeah, you know what's mad? Looking back at that episode and looking back at that, you know what you call that? That's called control. That's seeing if you can. That's testing people. All right, let me see who's gonna follow my orders. Who's gonna do what I got gonna say. Like people will laugh and joke about this, yeah. because I've seen some jokes about this prior to this whole Diddy being incarcerated, and you know what I mean. Like, but then when you look back at it, and then when I'm looking back at it, I'm like, yo, he's a control freak. He clearly wants to find out who can he control, who can he manipulate to do whatever he wants. That's what that is. That's what walking from Brooklyn to Manhattan. I don't know the distance, yeah, but I'm gonna assume, and I could be wrong. And you can let me know in the comments below if you know about Brooklyn and Manhattan, and you know about certain areas in London, right? So I'm gonna say that, like, pretty much walking from Brixton to, I don't know. Let's just say, let me think. Brixton to, I'm gonna say, let me think. Yeah, Brixton to Croydon, basically. You get it? And that's a distance. Like, I'm telling you, that's a massive distance. A massive distance. A genuine massive distance. Let's go. Absolute power and control. That's what my car said in the street. My car said, I don't even know, mental way just this. It's scary when you think there's some people like that, like that. This could be one. One. Wow. Roger Bonds was asked, do you think anyone who got it worse in that era? And he said, I think Aubrey got it the worst in the era. There you go. There you go. And Aubrey, yeah, she's been speaking from time. I don't think people understand. This is why I was surprised that she wasn't called as a witness for the prosecution team. I reckon if she was called for the witness for the prosecution team, Diddy's getting 20 years in jail, minimum, or say minimum. But he would be found guilty on all charges. There's certain people who you anyway. Let's just keep it moving. I don't want to talk about ifs, buts, and maybe. But yeah, let's go. Wow. I don't even want to repeat what she just said in regards to Diddy. After, anyway, I can't say. Oh wow. So basically, she was asked, at what point did you feel it was becoming mixable? I can't say the actual word when it crossed the line. And she's saying there was email, and this email is from the 21st of March 2008, and that was on a Sunday. She said, and that basically says you should F someone, turn you out, I can see you, tell you what to do. And do you see what I'm trying to? She should have took the stand. She should have. The prosecution team messed up. I can't lie to you. They genuinely messed up because you got someone who is not like a girlfriend at that point. You understand? It's like Daphne Joy, a girlfriend. Yeah, and sorry, sis, it is what it is. And then you have Cassie, a girlfriend. Now Capricorn card, obviously not a girlfriend, but if you got someone, if you got more people that are working for or working with Diddy that are going to talk on the situation, and I'm talking about, you see what I'm gonna say? If you're getting emails like this, the prosecution team messed up. They genuinely messed up. But did they? Is there something more that's going to be adding? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, he even says that he sent, those type of pictures. You know what pictures I'm talking about. I don't want to repeat that. Anyway, let's go. But just part of the email mentions just literally wanna just ask you, and I can't see the full image, the full email. It says with some mother therefore. It says I think it says what I tell her to do, and okay. And what to do. I make my woman do what I tell her to do. That's the last thing. I just think this is the thing. Wow, I think it's I have to say, it's alone and get ready to do that. So, fitness, God, is it possible in the email? Exactly. Exactly. AubreyODay said it straight there. If that happens in real life to anyone else, that boss gets fired. So now it's just got me thinking, all right, I don't even know what to say. I really don't know what to say. We're going to keep it moving. Let's go. Let's just say off. He was fired. And how he fired her from the band, yeah? How he fired her from the band was like, when you can tell someone's projecting, it's that. Literally that. Okay, so kind of stolen. What the point just literally said. When dealing with Sean, you have to realize he doesn't want to deal with anyone being bigger than him. And unfortunately, there's people out there like that. So like, oh, you can do what you're doing, but you can never be better than me. That's what it's so. That's that. They made his own group. He did make money. The irony of it. Just in America, in half the city. Hmm. Okay, so talking about how the he's talking about how now Kalina, she's talking about how the making of Pro Black was made. So she flew out to LA. Well, she got a call from her manager to do the song, whatever. She flew out to LA in a house on a cliff in City Pool. So she mentioned that path basically is there. She mentioned something really eerie. I don't know what that was. Let me go back to that. Okay, past work or the project. I seem to be going to I got the code. I go to the pool. That's hanging at the foot. Finish the pool. We will walk downstairs and we stay the segment. That's the idea. We do. I'm sorry, I have to pause because what the hell? What? Because his response was, "You're here. What are you gonna do to it?" She thought of something different. He's not think. She's not thinking of what he wants. Do you get it? Okay, now it makes me feel like, why did you mention that story? Is that are you trying to say that Diddy tried to? I don't. I don't know what to say. All right, I really don't know what to say. It feels like it was mentioned for no reason, but maybe it was mentioned because you realize, okay, Diddy is just a weird guy. You know what I mean? But I don't know. How do you enter into someone's house without that person not knowing that that person's there? Somehow he must have known you were there. You get it? Somehow he must have known you were there. So I don't know for that situation. I'm not saying she's lying, but at least she was talking. At least she said she started to sing how the verse or the hook for the or her part for the song "So Black." But anyway, yeah, you know what's mad? I just realized something. I just literally realized something. I've always wondered, yeah, what happened to the group Danny Kane? Yeah, you know when. All right, leave the answer in the comment section below. Don't you ever have this thought when it comes to certain groups that you grew up listening to or you know of, and you just have that thought like, what happened to them? Now understanding, I know this is like a delayed thought, but now understanding, hang on, what happened between AubreyODay and Puff, clearly, or Diddy, or Sean Combs, whatever the hell he wants to call himself, right? What happened ends up being a situation where the group disbanded because of his ways. Now, of course, Selena um and Dawn Richards weren't. I won't say they weren't to know the real situation of what happened, but clearly they ended up being in the new group with Diddy. Now, my question becomes: leave your answer in the comments below. Did you also have that thought of what happened to Danny Kane and other groups? Because it was the same thing. I'm like, what happened to Day 26? Like I had that thought in my head as well at one point. Now it makes more sense. Raw. So let's keep it moving. All right, so now Kalina's been asked what was John Rich's relationship um with Diddy, and then she's saying it was weird. So let's see what he said. John and John at the some point of the season, like looking at cameras, they're doing the next thing, the original thing, and then the research, the level, the okay, but hear me out, yeah. You see, sometimes, yeah, in life, and this, we know what the situation is now with the Dawn Richard situation because he ended up taking the stand, yeah. But like, naturally, actually, I want to get to that. Let me get to that. Let's keep moving. All right, so basically, Diddy looks like he's high off something. I don't know, but jumping up and down, and saying we're working. We're just some young black men working, and obviously that the studio is called what is it? What's the studio called? Daddy's House. Really, really? Come on, man. That criminals there. One thing about criminals, they always leave breadcrumbs. They always leave breadcrumbs. They always do, and I'm so thankful for it. You know why? Because eventually they get caught and they get the justice that not justice. Sorry, the victims get the justice that they deserve. You understand? Let's keep it moving. He said we're just lucky. You're just lucky. We're legal doing things, and we're, like, what are you talking about? You're lucky we're not on the streets. That's got to do anything. That's how you know he's high. Okay, so Dawn basically, so Kalina's basically saying you can't say it was a relationship between him and Dawn because Cassie's there. So he's in a relationship with Cassie. That's him to say 2006. He's so young man. So Cassie was Ryan Leslie's girl. And he's got So Ryan was hold on. We're gonna rewind that because that is something that I'm so because that's another thing. Why did it Ryan Leslie did he correct me if I'm wrong? Because I can't remember verbatim. He was everyone that talked in the he took the testimony. You hear that banging? Don't worry. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're trying to ruin the vibe. They're trying to ruin the vibe, but you get me. The vibe can't be ruined. All right. So anyway, so yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Ryan Leslie talk? Did he take the stand? That's what I want to know. Did he take the stand? Anyway, she moved to Cassie moved to New York from New Connecticut. So yeah, from New London in Connecticut. Anyway, I don't know who that was that mentioned that. Was that Ryan Leslie? It looked like him. It could be him. I don't know. But it's very eerie why he said that and how he said that and why he said that. Why did he say that? Why did the producer that in Westwood? This is things in the last 2 years. Hey, this is a tune, you know. Hey, he said I saw something that the whole world could fall in love with. About anything else, what the bunch of people. So popular, music. Um, he said I think you'd be more comfortable with a rapper doing the part. Okay, fair enough. That's his producer thing. I don't know. I don't know. Let's give me next thing. So Roger Bond saying next thing I knew, Cassie was there and Ryan was getting a 10 album deal. 10 album deal. And how many albums has she released? And this is the other thing. Now you've got to think about it. Some people be like, oh, that 20 million, was it 20 million or $30 million that she received from Diddy? Yeah, like, I mean, listen, breach of contract. That's a breach of contract when you think about it. You're not allowing me to do you signed me for a 10 million album deal. Not 10 million. You signed me to do a 10 album deal, but you're not helping me release those 10 albums. So what is that? You understand? That's a breach of contract. Or or if it's not a breach of contract, what is it? It's a contract dispute. Clearly, let's go. Okay, Roger Bond literally said one thing about Puff, he's like a cat. You know how cat knows what it's gonna do at the time. This is not before the corruption. Corruption like 45 cases a year, and they said, yo, if you can move a million cases of this number like half a million dollars something like that. Okay, now it makes more sense. He had that motivation to go all out. It kind of makes more sense. When you see Torre being interviewed him, yeah. Now I have to see Torre's reaction to this whole docu-series, yeah, because I know he's got something to say. I know he does. I literally know he does. Oh man, let's go. All right, so Roger Bonds admits he was himself was more of a street dude back and forth from jail. And he didn't think and he's basically saying Pop was introducing Cassie to a life that she had never thought she could have. Kim was also on, clearly. Roger Point says Kim didn't know about Cassie about that time. Oh, I don't think. See, I don't know. I personally do not know. But hear me out. Hear me out, and just hear me out loudly and clearly. Yeah, this is where I wish. I don't know if Gene Dill's gonna appear. I know I've seen this, but I can't remember if Gene Dill actually has appeared in this. But like, June Dill did allude to the fact that Kim did find out about Cassie. She did. She did. She 100% did. She's not stupid. And then Roger Bone said they looked at Cassie as wifey. Wife, wifey. Wifey is wife. What we talking here? Do you see what I'm gonna say? What kind of madness is that? I don't care if you're from wherever. No, that's a madness. I don't care. Now, if you were to say side chick, all right, cool, whatever. I still don't agree with them anyway. Whatever I agree with is whatever. You don't need to know what I think when it comes to relationships and stuff like that. That's not much for me to say. I'm not here for that. The point I'm trying to make is clearly, yeah, he's dealing with multiple women. He knew. Because he literally just said he would catch her attitude, like Kim will catch her attitude, and they have, you know what I mean, have your, you have to do that. You know what I mean? It's not like he's stupid. Like, and you got to remember, obviously, he's there raising the kids as well. That's another thing you have to understand. Like, I don't, and if you understand certain situations, well, we'll get into it. I hope they mention it. I really think this is the point. Leaving it to look at every time part, basically. And she mentions when Kim will come around. No, yeah, when Kim will come around, Cassie would get no, what was it? It was the other way around. Hang on. No. Eventually, when Kim will come around, that's when I go on the side because it's things like that. So Kim decided to end it. So Kim just opening the end. No. So Cassie was. This is what's mad, yeah. Because it's not like he couldn't help develop. Anyway, I won't get into that. But yeah, I'm just thinking it's not like he couldn't help her develop as an artist to continue to be the success. But the bills, taking the pictures, putting it on their own way, doing the over. Now, Roger Bond said something very interesting. He literally said, if you're going to take someone that young and make him wifey, you're supposed to be. He says, then he feels like you're supposed to protect him. But you know what's mad? You saw it. It's like Roger Bond. Anyway, I won't even get into anything. Let's keep moving. Let's go. So, it's gonna turn out like, as we know, unfortunately, never know. Okay. And now someone, a gigolo or a next worker is now talking. This is the focus of the moving. Okay, yes, Clayton. Clayton Howard. I believe he also testified. So if you know, you know. He told me, so she let them know, so let him know that they're married and they want to spice things up. He put on a fake voice to sound like he's from the south. Alright, if you're gonna switch accents like Aubrey Graham, aka Lawbury, you know, listen, that's for another day, another subject. I don't want to say I can't wait to react to content when it comes to that. But let's just, yeah, I'm just gonna just say, yeah, stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, give me a post notification, let's go. You went by the name of Frank Black. And guess what? Guess what? They're actually playing a song from Biggie where he's going to the Frank Black. So basically, I'm gonna go to Frank Black. You know what song? There you go. The baby on it. He was saying on like a normal person. Think about it. He took it on. He took it and said that's not enough and poured it all over him. I just clocked something. They're literally showing exhibits, like government exhibits. Like the one I just seen just something just now. Give me a second. I'm gonna see it up for. Where is it? Okay, government exhibit 1B hyphen 247 24 CR dot 542 AF, and there's the imagery of the baby. There's like, let me see, 246, and you got Astroglide, I believe that is, or what they were calling it. That's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Probably nine, but the C1 dot. This is mad. Anyway, okay. So basically, he's repeating more of the stuff that he mentioned in the trial. I won't go word for word. Okay, so the most important thing he's mentioning, the process was always heavily regulated by him, that being Diddy. Yeah, that's the key information because everyone wants. Some people want to assume, oh, she's just as guilty. No, she was groomed. I don't know. I don't think some people understand what grooming actually means. And obviously, she has a dream of being, and well, obviously, she has that deal in place and that promise from Diddy that on your next, your next. So obviously, if she's going to continue to please Diddy just so she can eventually get what she wants, well, what else is she supposed to do? I know it sounds mad, but that's just the harsh reality of what she unfortunately went through. But anyway, let's go. Again, don't worry about the knocking or the banging. Get me? Ain't nobody gonna mess up my vibe. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Alright? So if I gotta talk a little louder, I'll talk a little louder. Get me? You remember the first night? Well, yeah, you remember the first night, and the current images of Tupac. So let's see. Tupac said, "Would come on." He said, "Change that. He said, change it." No, just like that. Is that any of them is just Tupac? Is that guilty conscience? Let me know in the comments below. Is that guilty conscience? And it's funny. There's an image of Kim Porter wearing a Tupac shirt. Hey, nah, wait. She was shot on. I think it was on June 8th, 2015. Kim Porter was in the image with Diddy, and I think one of her sons. I can't even remember the image verbatim. And it's clear and they were in LA, in Los Angeles. So it's like he was clearly trolling Diddy, clearly. Or if she wasn't trolling Diddy, she was trying to say something. You know, sometimes there's some people want to say something without saying something. You get it? They will use they will use certain things to let people be aware that you get it. That those will understand will know, and some might not even understand. For hours, like hours. And then he was involved for over 8 years. He said it was creepy from the beginning, and they were collecting his what, and they'll put it in a cup. What? I listen. He said, I don't even repeat all of this. I can't even lie because I need to eat and drink after this, so I'm not going to repeat this. I'm just not. I'm just not. It just knows that Sean Collins is a vile, disgusting human being. Clearly. So literally saying anyway. Did he? Anyway, I won't go to this. No way. No, no, no. It's not. That's not funny. Helen degenerate. That's not funny. What he's doing. That image is not funny. That image is even more disturbing. Like I've seen the top half before, yeah. But and I'm like, yeah, that's disturbing regardless I did it. You know what I mean? But no, no, we need to move on. We need to keep it moving. Let's finish reacting to this. I'm not trying to pause on that because I need to get over this. I need to eat. And now he's mentioning, he's mentioning he was dealt with it, or involved in it. Every March night, they will fly him out. Yeah, you're busy, When? While he had Miss Cassandra with Cassie, together that we produced for that day, but they always called him March 8th. If that sound like guilty conscience, let me know in the comments below. Again, don't worry about what you're hearing in the background, people. You understand? Don't worry about what you may hear in the background. You know what I mean? Even my baby rumbling. I've already told her I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, yeah, let's go. His eyes are red, looking at the devil. Sorry, this is the. Obviously, I know there's some photos where your eyes can look red, but yeah, he looked at the devil. I can't even lie. You know what I mean? Government Exhibit B, what? B hyphen 11, 111. So Clayton asks, how do you guys are up for 2 or 3 days. How do you do this like nothing's happening? It's an exhibit of an essence of difficult. And this is why some people believe Cassie is also just as guilty because she talked Clayton into taking the ecstasy pill. And after he took it, easily. Okay, so Kurt Burrows is basically again mentioning in the early days, Diddy didn't, Sean Combs didn't drink, didn't take no alcohol, didn't take no, he didn't take no narcotics, none of that, none. He didn't get anything around him at the time. All right, I'm gonna read this verbatim, yeah, because even this is a what's his name? Gene Joe has also mentioned this story several times. He said this is the night that got Diddy hooked on narcotics. Seriously, this is the moment. Because there's always situations where, not always, but there's some situations that get you hooked on certain medication. You know what I mean? So anyway, it says Puffy story doesn't cut it. Wow, wow. Anyway, it says the facts are this: Sean Puffy Combs suffered a slit wrist late Sunday night. What that means is what that means is open to interpretation. Our sources are scratching their heads over what Puffy and his people are claiming took place before the CEO of Bad Boy Records was rushed to St. Luke's emergency room with a female friend. He was telling some stupid story. Said a source he just happened to be in ER at the same time. He told the doctors he cut himself while play fighting with a woman. Something about a champagne flute crashing against a wall and cutting in two. Even the nurses were making faces, doubting his account. Actually, okay, actually, Puffy gave us a quote from the hospital bed yesterday afternoon. Can't see the full thing, but look, wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay, so anyway, I just saw an image. I thought, who's that? So anyway, so basically, obviously, that lets you know they don't believe that story. They don't believe that story. The story that Gene Dill said is it was Kim Porter that literally slit his wrist. Kim Porter did that allegedly. That's what Gene Dill said. Anyway, Gene Dill could get one. It's nice to wrist for the situation. Just a couple of things. Don't publicly deny that it was a risk for an injury. Stronghold publicly denied that his wrist injury was a suicide attempt or caused by a woman. His spokesperson described it at the time as a freak accident. See, now he feels like he's getting more smarter by having a spokesperson. I discovered that it's seriously. That's the system we're rapping. More and more effort. So Kurt Boris had to get a private doctor for him. So he wanted more and more Percocet because obviously he's dealing with a lot of pain. Because isn't the wrist that I don't know. I don't know what the medical term is, but you have to be very, very, very careful. Let's go. That is the method. And now you can see that he's looked at drugs from my college as well, everything. Instead of 4 days cycle, you go hard after that 14 days. It's like a thing. No, it wasn't like a baby. He was just high. His own was cocaine, over cocaine, and stuff. Narcotics, designer, narcotics, medicine. Okay. This is Kalina saying this. Now that you look at, you can literally see that he really is high. Well, I mean, I can't see. I won't see it, but he really looks high. I didn't even say he was always high. I don't ever think I remember a time where he wasn't high out his face. He used to say where we're doing too. Told me there was a little thing in the baby on. There was a question like this. Damn, the goal is 10, 10, 10. So now he's detailing, yeah, that Cassie wanted to stop, right? And because he's like, remember, I've got a career, I've got things to do. And then now, Clayton's basically saying, no, the, the, what? This is your only job. This is what you do. Hmm. So now he's detailing an incident where Cassie basically, Diddy said, don't offer him a drink, but she offered him a drink anyway. And basically, Diddy got violent with her, and basically, that's something. And then basically, she ran out the room. And then she said, "No shit." Well, Diddy's like, "Oh, she ran out the room. You gotta go find her." Every time she ran out. She came back. Okay, she came out like nothing happened. And this is the thing about DV situations. You never know. Just because they may look happy at one point or whatever the case may be, it doesn't mean there's some. You know what I mean? It's a mad cycle. I don't know what the psychological thing is. And maybe I can get into it another day for another time because I'm sure there's a documentary on it where experts like real genuine experts can study this and figure out something because we need to find a way to resolve and prevent these situations. That's my main concern. Yeah, like we need to find a way to prevent these situations. You have to, because I don't understand why it's such a constant thing. It doesn't matter what year, what decade, what industry. You know what I mean? What no matter wealth, no, even those who are not as wealthy go through that situation. That it's mad. I don't understand. I personally, I don't understand. I really don't understand. But let's keep it moving. About wait. After seeing, this is what I don't understand, Clayton. If I was on the prosecution team, I'll say, so wait, you said you saw Sean punch her in the chest, allegedly. So if you saw this happen, what did you do? Did you call 911? And then why did you continue, doing? that situation with them? Or did you go back the next time? Or why did you go back if you went back? Did you go back because you thought if you just see her, you continue to see them, at least there's a pathway to help rescue her or something? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. Let me know in the comments below. What would your thoughts be? Okay, so basically, there was because at first it was never Cassie and Diddy. It was always Cassie and Clayton, and then it got to a point where it was a mix of both of them, and then it got to a point where um, Diddy got it seemed like Diddy got jealous, but obviously I don't know. I don't know. Get me? But basically, he pushes her off. He pushes her off Clayton or whatever, and then he starts to he's business with Cassie, and then Clayton sees no. Clayton is detailing that he sees her smirking at me, and he says, "Yeah, what the f you laughing at?" You see, back in the mind. Wow. Pause. No Diddy. You take the shit out of him. You from Instagram to what you actually have for. Because time out. He's explaining. I think he's explaining the commercial that happened. Um, and he's literally saying, "Let me rewind it just a little bit because this is instead of commercial. It's in the last one. I think the best way to do it is to be authentic. So if you get authentically do the word always and so the certain time and so a fantasy. That's actually a fantasy, man. So he caught himself. He literally just caught himself. In that moment, he caught himself. He was telling, this is what we actually genuinely do. And he just realized, whoops, did I just say that? He caught himself. He said, now he wants to say that's an actual fantasy in my head. This is a very well put together documentary or docu-series. This is a very well put together. I won't even lie to you because wow, I didn't even expect that. That's what you call it, a Freudian slip. Even not the host does not even the host does not believe him. For many men, it's a fantasy like, well, yeah, all right. You know them ones there where you can tell that, but I don't believe you. All right, cool, whatever. What do you say? December 2024, against Harlem. What the one said he liked him as a person, he didn't know him. Anything that happened in the world, he won't. And that comes to whatever could make him. Okay. And the way that you treat other people. But you're also implicated, Roger. You spoke to only when we did it. Now you walk around Harlem because you know that I end up back in you. Okay, so this is like six. Okay, this is 6 days. So he went back to Harlem 6 days before his arrest. Interesting. Um, Open up Harlem for your back. I think this was shown in the trailer as well. That he's giving it back. What is what the one said? To be honest with you, one was uncomfortable around so many black people. Wow. It's only when you need it then, and you felt uncomfortable. That's what Roger Bond said. That's what interesting. I mean, listen. I put them on people who stupid. If you want to do the same, you know, got to take a bath. Let them not people. That's it. That's it. That's 150 long. Wow. I hear what you're saying to a degree, knowing how I feel now, in terms of I need to get well. You know what I mean? I need full rest. And then here I am doing a live reaction. But you need. But the point is, I kind of hear what you're saying in a way, but I kind of don't. You know what I mean? I don't know what to say. I don't know. It is what it is. But he's going to, but he's going too mad with it. It's one thing to say, oh, you know, it's like you don't even have to say anything. You still have to say, just you don't need to say anything. But he's going too depth. I've got to be under the water, got to be boiling hot water. Come on, man. Put some peroxide. Now you're going too far. Now you're going too far. Let's get the argument from the nature of him. Let's put what's first up him. I think the team made about himself. It's better for the nostrils. So hit this way, keep passing. That's what it is. This is a real deep documentary. Okay, so she's Selena pregnant with her daughter, and so see that's what I want. It's the one right there. And now she's got kids, man. I like that, man. I like that for Cassie. I like that. You know what I mean? Knowing what she went through. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the parents though, the real you know what I mean? The ones that really want kids and then they end up having kids. You know what I'm saying? Alright, listen, shout out to God. You know what I mean? Sometimes you go through certain situations and God says, you know what? Now it's your time. You know what I'm saying? Now it's the time. So let's keep it moving. Let's go. Only one. Man, that is just showing the footage of the hotel. The, that incident, man. Now we're hearing what Diddy saying. He literally says he's never been a good boyfriend. He just want to have a girlfriend. That's what maybe he's not gonna plan. You know what I'm saying? But you can't know how it works. I'm not saying. This is what Diddy is literally saying. Damn. It doesn't matter how many times I see this video or this image of the that night in the hotel we literally doing what we know what is. Oh God, seriously, God, 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 God. I don't understand why any human being, any woman go through that. Do you understand? And then you got people out there that say that they're they're not a victim, and they can see it blatantly. I don't know. Some anyone who says Cassie's not a victim, you're just as bad and evil as Diddy. I don't care what no one says. You're just as bad and evil as you want to consider. Because what the hell? Because listen, if you got sisters, you got a mother, you got aunts, you got nieces, you got cousins, you got any female friends that you know what I mean. You got a wife, you know what I mean. Like, listen, listen, and it's not even just that. It's like, bruh, like, nah, 50 months is not enough. And I said it before. He shouldn't even be in a jail with a lot of people. He should be. What's that word? I forgot what the word is now, but that. You know what I mean? He should be solitary confinement. That should be he's doing. Solitary confinement for life. But we're gonna keep it moving. Let's go. The Cassie's lawsuit was in 2023. And it's mad. When that came out, yeah, I literally said it. I can't remember if I put it in a comment properly. I think I did. I can't remember. I said this is gonna open Pandora's box. I literally said it. I don't know why I felt that way, but that's how I felt. And I could have been completely wrong. But look where we are now. Okay, now Joy speaking. Joy, speaking. Maybe that's the only one. Mm. How many lawsuits? How many lawsuits? This is the one there. What's this? John Richard, the one that also spoke as well. Look how happy he is. Wait, hang on. I don't know. Was that happiness? If I can't even, it wasn't happiness. Was that? I have to reread that. What was that? Hold on. Yeah, he can't believe he's right. He can't believe his eyes. He's like, Dawn Richards, I'm telling you, money. It's like he can't believe his eyes. He literally can't believe his eyes. I thought it was minor, but you know that nervous smile, like he's scared of what he doesn't know what's gonna happen next. That part. That's a really good eye. What's the voice saying? Yeah, right for yourself. Now they're going back into situational. The image of him looks so distraught, so confused, like he knows he's gonna lose it all. He's complaining, no. You gotta go through what he's complaining about. I can't even lie. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's jokes because it's not jokes, but how he's complaining is jokes. You know when you have to rant, someone, it's like they're starting out themselves, the motherfuckers from jail that I've never seen before. So in my group, that was in my last album, now all of a sudden, I'm the person, I'm this monster. Fuck that, man. Love coming off. So more than 100 civil cases. Hold on. More than 100 civil cases. More than 100 civil cases have been filed, alleged assault or related misconduct by Sean Combs. As of airing, 77 cases are pending. People filing Mr. Simpson as ever being alone with Joe or engaged in any misconduct. He vehemently denies the allegation, calling them false and salacious. Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura has both denied claims that the baby oil used during the pre-course related to any drugs. I don't think Cassie would actually genuinely would know if I'm honest, but Sean Combs would know, and anyone who else was involved, like they would know. Like Christina Coram, she would know. Yeah, I don't think Cassie would 100% know. If I'm completely honest. In 2025, okay, you already know this. In 2025, Sean Combs was tried in federal court on charges including RICO, trafficking and violation of the Mann Act, with conviction of three counts of conspiracy under the Mann Act and acquitted of the remaining charges. He was sentenced to 50 months in prison with time served. All right, so that's pretty much it for this one. Shout out to everyone watching. I will get into part four later or 2 days, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Yeah, this I don't know what to say, man. It's kind of scary. It's scary. It's scary. It's genuinely scary because you it's scary. It's scary. But it's the good thing is this docu series is very well done. So we're gonna get into part four, the last part, um, and then do that later today. Not straight away, you know what I mean? Because I got to eat, I got to rest for a bit, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah.